Is it truly righteousness that drives you?
Light, grant me one final blessing. Give me the strength to shatter these bonds.
Holla ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher and we're doing some Prot Paladin today. A little bit clunky, but we're going to get through it. We're going to talk about your talents, we're going to talk about your reforges, your gemming and what you should be casting and all that good stuff. This is going to be an interesting one for me. It's the first time I'm going to be recommending things as a protection class that I wouldn't normally recommend in any way, shape or form. The Protection Paladin is suffering a little bit, I would say, from fun. Or lack thereof. I'm sure some of you guys will disagree, but that's just my open and honest opinion on it. So we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Okay. Protection. It gains Crusader Strike. It also gains Hammer of the Righteous, similar to Ret. But now you gain Shield of the Righteous and Avenger's Shield. Now, Avenger's Shield is nothing new we haven't seen before. You throw your shield like Captain America. Whoosh! And it comes back to you in a nice, glorious fashion. And Shield of the Righteous is our big finisher, requiring 3 holy power. You instantly slam the target and smash it in the face and hurt it. Increases the strength of your Word of Glory when used to heal yourself by 22%. Stacks up to 5 times. It also reduces the physical damage you take by 42%. This is our big defensive ability. Unlike all the other tanks who have to sort of pick and choose between maybe an offensive and defensive ability, Prot Paladins have the glorious ability of having them all in one solid bundle, being Shield of the Righteous. You can just fire that bad boy off and you're going to be in good shape. So all pretty good. That's our only finisher, by the way. Is our only realistic finisher besides Word of Glory that does anything like that, okay? Talents. Now, for tanking, your talents get switched up a little bit, and again, it's down to whatever you want it to be. You've got Speed of Light, which is recommended for tanks, purely so you can get to the next mobs as fast as possible when needed. And then we become pretty stationary. We're pretty stationary in between times, so we don't really benefit much from the other two as much as we do from bursting to the next mobs and then getting them nice and stationary. But again, change it as and what you desire should the boss need it. Entirely up to you. Next one is some CC ability. Again, we're not really CCing that much on our Prot Paladin. No, we're not. We're AoEing the crap out of things. So it's whatever you feel you need. Pick and choose as you like. It won't affect your tanking too much. The one go-to choice for the next tier is always going to be Sacred Shield. You want to have a really, really high uptime on your Sacred Shield. It nicely smooths out damage intake. And as a tank, we want smooth damage incoming. We don't want bursty damage incoming. And this helps smooth that out nicely. Whereas Selfless Healer and Eternal Flame are nice for little bursty moments, Sacred Shield just helps put that buffer zone in all the damage we take to get a nice smooth incoming damage ability. So make sure that you're keeping a nice high uptime on your Sacred Shield. It's well worthwhile. Your next one releases your hands and abilities in some way. The realistic choice is going to be either Clemency or Unbreakable Spirit. Tanks tend to roll with Unbreakable Spirit as it reduces the cooldown on Divine Protection and Lay on Hands, etc. Spending Holy Power, which we'll do a lot of, will reduce them to 50% reduction. So we get them for basically half cooldowns on those abilities, which is always good. We're mainly after the Divine Protection, getting on a nice big short cooldown. There you go, Divine Protection. We'll get a nice 30-second cooldown on Divine Protection thanks to Unbreakable Spirit, which is always worthwhile. Extra tanking cooldowns, win, 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 win. The next one is some sort of DPS cooldown. Tanks, the rockiest part of being a Prot Paladin with a boss is the pull. It's the little bit of a jittery start to the fight. Holy Avenger allows us to just spam a ton of Shield of the Righteous and get ourselves in a solid position, okay? Considering our abilities don't hit overwhelmingly hard, unlike say a Prot Warrior could charge in and drop a big fat shield slam, we don't really have that. We have Avenger's Shield, Consecration, and all that good stuff, but we need to generate 3 Holy Power before we can hit our big, hard-hitting Shield of the Righteous. Therefore, Holy Avenger comes in and helps us get there much, much faster and get our tanks nice and rolling and set. Your next one is entirely up to you. Holy Prism goes ahead and it heals everybody around you, which is just more helpful. We tend to not need things like Execution Sentence for the extra DPS, although Prot Paladin DPS is by no means trivial, so if it's a serious DPS timer, fine, use some Execution Sentence. Holy Prism just puts like a nice regular burst of healing for non-trivial amounts, about 70k crits to everybody around you. Very, very helpful to fire that out on cooldown. You get some damage out of it, and you also help heal those melee gangsters who are helping you kill that boss. Very nice ability to pick up. For your Glyphs, There's not much choice in this, again, for the Prot Paladin. You can argue that there may be some choice. You've got the Alabaster Shield. Now, everyone seems to want this because your DPS, as I said, is not trivial. It's important. Your successful blocks increase the damage of your next Shield of the Righteous by 20%. Stacks up to 3 times. So you get a 60% boost to your Shield of the Righteous, which you're spamming a lot of. Battle Healer. Glyph of melee, this glyph allows you to switch to Seal of Insight. Now, some fights, after your threat is organised, are very, very difficult for the healers to cope with. With Seal of Insight and Battle Healer, you're going to start firing out a lot of healing to all your ballers around you, okay? Tons and tons of healing is going to fire out. Be aware that this will suffer your DPS by losing Seal of Truth, but if you're going Seal of Insight and you're comfortable with your position and the raid needs healing, Glyph of Battle Healer will really help you out. The 5-man heroics, I still roll with Glyph of Double Jeopardy. I like this, just switching targets, throwing out extra judgments, extra big damage. Like I said, our damage is pretty important. The other major glyph here for tanks is Glyph of Divine Protection. Reduces the magical damage reduction of your Divine Protection to 20% only, but it adds 20% physical damage reduction, which is very important for some of the big, hard-hitting melee bosses. You would easily swap out Glyph of Double Jeopardy for Glyph of Divine Protection, and you'll be in good shape. You'll be in really good shape. So be aware of that glyph. It's the most important tank glyph in the game. Swap it all the damn time. You want to be keeping Tome of the Clear Minds. What does this boss entail? Which glyph do I need? What do I need my Divine Protection to be doing for me? Very important. Let's get to the important stuff, which is gearing. Now, as I said, I'm going to be recommending something here I have never recommended in my life. Prot Paladins are in a really stupid position. Because we take so much less damage, the more Shield of the Righteouses we fire off, wearing DPS gear is actually a defensive bonus. I can't believe those words came out of my mouth. I feel sick. Not all DPS gear, but essentially, I hate saying this, I really do. Your priorities as a Protection Paladin are hit and expertise caps. Not soft caps, you want hit cap and you want expertise hard cap. You want to get rid of parry. I can't even do it in this gear, but I have tried. You want to get hit capped and expertise hard capped, which means you have no chance to be parried. This means more of your abilities will hit, which means you generate more holy power, which means you take less damage. Yes, indeed. After that, you might think, well, I need avoidance, right? Wrong, wrong, wrong. Your next 2 stats that you will work on are Haste and Mastery. You heard it right, Haste. And that is thanks to this ability. Sanctity of Battle. There we go. Sanctity of Battle. Melee haste effects lower the cooldown and global cooldown of your Judgment, Crusader Strike, Hammer of the Righteous, and Consecration, Holy Wrath, Avenger Shield, and Hammer of Wrath. That's right. Haste now reduces the cooldown and the global cooldown of all your spells which generate holy power. Ergo, generating more Shields of the Righteous. Ergo, generating more defensive abilities for you. You could go either Mastery or Haste. Either are pretty good. They're pretty equal. In fact, it's more situation dependent than that. But a lot of people don't like reforging in between fights. I understand that. However, you are not focusing on avoidance in any way, shape, or form. You will reforge everything you possibly can to hit, expertise, haste, and mastery. Yeah. Yeah. Enough said. Enough said. You're going to have a real struggle with DPS players because when a crit is useless, by the way. You don't want crit. But when that DPS plate drops, the expertise haste plate, that haste mastery plate, traditional DPS gear, your Prot Paladin is going to say, that is really, really good for me. Yeah. Yeah. As such, you will be gemming. You will be gemming for as much stamina as you need. I'm wearing all DPS gear in this. In fact, just to make things interesting, when I run the 5-man for you guys, I'll be wearing a healer shield and a healer weapon, because that's what this character has. It's going to be no problem. But you will be gemming for as much stamina as you need. After that, you'll be gemming for haste and mastery. You will not be gemming for parry. You will not be gemming for dodge. You will not be gemming for any of that stupid tank nonsense. You will be, of course, gemming for whatever it is you need. Yeah. You can feel the, I hope this gets changed. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. All this tank gear will drop and your Paladin doesn't actually want it. He wants that tasty DPS gear. Crazy. When it comes to your rotation, The only main difference you're going to suffer from, you're going to generally roll in Seal of Truth. Seal of Righteousness, sure, does slightly more AoE damage in certain situations, but in general, you're going to be rolling with Seal of Truth. Your only choices are, all these abilities are cool. Some of them hit harder than others. Consecration, you should know, is a very, very hard-hitting spell. It's a very hard-hitting spell. You want Consecration down as a priority. You also want to prioritize Avenger's Shield. This is both single target and AoE, by the way. You want to do both of these. You want to prioritize your Judgment, and then you want to use your Crusader Strikes to generate as many holy powers as possible, and then fire off those Shields of the Righteous. You want to get as many Shields of the Righteous off as possible and keep a really awesome uptime. So you'll be using Consecration primarily, your Judgments, and your Avenger's Shields. Note, and you can use Holy Wrath as your weakest ability. Holy Wrath is a weak ability. Crusader Strike and Hammer of the Righteous, which are your Hammer of the Righteous, of course, is your AoE ability. Once you start getting 3-4 mobs, start using Hammer of the Righteous. Are very weak hitting abilities. Your Crusader Strike is a very weak hitting ability in comparison to Consecration, Avenger's Shield, and your Judgment, okay? It's a very weak ability. It's not on your top of your priority list compared to those things in terms of threat and DPS. Consecration and Avenger's Shield are #1 priorities. Judgment next, and then you start using your Crusader Strikes and Hammer of the Righteouses. The last ability you want to be using is Holy Wrath, but you will have plenty of opportunities to be casting lots of Holy Wraths, don't worry about it. And try and use your level 90 ability on cooldown. So if you've got Holy Prism, like I'm rolling with, use it on cooldown to spread out that healing and damage to everything around you, and you will be in good shape, okay? It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. There is nothing more to it. And make sure, of course, you have Righteous Fury on. That's the overview of your Prot Paladins, okay? I'm going to run into a 5-man now and show you this kind of stuff in action, and we should have a good time. Alright, ballers? See you later.